Morning. Thank you for being here. I'm Sheriff Carmine Marceno. Before I say anything, I want to take a moment and say thank you to my family members. While I'm the man that delivers the message, I'm not the one out here that's putting in all those hard hours of work and dedicated service to put us here today. I can't thank them enough for their dedication and for their hard work. Blessed to work with such amazing people here at Lee County Sheriff's Office. Close to 6 months ago, Hurricane Ian devastated our area. I'm incredibly proud of the communities that came together and those that came to help. But not everyone came to help. A small amount of our society came to take advantage of us while we continue to come together and rebuild. These people disgust me. They come in and they try to steal with no concern for anyone else. Behind me was a group of these criminals that prey on victims. In January, North District detectives received information a tow company was trying to recover vehicles destroyed from Hurricane Ian without the required permits. This crew came from Philadelphia. Wanting to believe they were here to help, my detectives met with them and gave them all the state laws and regulations to protect business. Instead of trying to help, these criminals stole vehicles and scammed owners. One of their scams was they would tow storm-damaged cars and lie to the owners that the insurance company sent them. They would wait months to report to the insurance company, and while doing that, charge tens of thousands of dollars to store the vehicles. Thinking they did the right thing, victims would be left in frustration to deal with insurance companies. This cheating tow company would hide behind the paperwork and deception. As reporting of these crimes came in, my detectives immediately got to work, leaving no stone unturned. This case is very difficult. You have to identify so many victims. Most vehicles had already been claimed by insurance companies who would rather write a loss off and pay up to $20,000 to these criminals that were owed. A large break in the case came when the victim reporting their car breaking down and moved off the roadway vanished. The next day they went back, the car was gone, and they believed it was stolen. My detectives, eager for a break in the case, came right here. On this property, they found the victim's car with no words but abandoned written on the windshield. No attempts had been made to contact the owner, and no calls to law enforcement to report the tow. They flat out stole the car. This tow company had no paperwork to hide behind, and without delays, my detectives went to work. A series of search warrants resulted in 9 stolen vehicles, 1 stolen trailer, 3 stolen golf carts, 2 stolen boats, and we have seized 2 tow trucks and the property you see here that is now property of the Lee County Sheriff's Office. The suspects are Zuma Robles, Marsar Gertier, and Joseph Dunson. Together, they have 23 charges ranging from grand theft to operating a chop shop. Richard Dunston is also on federal probation for bank robbery with a machine gun. This is still very active. This investigation and more details will follow. I have zero tolerance for these criminals, and I'm sickened that in a time of need, people were taken advantage of. This is disgusting. They got their final hookup and tow all the way to the Marceno Motel. Crimes like this shouldn't happen, but when they do, we immediately go to work nonstop to bring these criminals to justice. Again, I couldn't be more proud of the men and women of the Lee County Sheriff's Office, my patrol deputies, my detectives that work this case. They're dedicated to the great residents of Lee County. I also want to make a point that when things like this happen, when there's fraud and there's grand theft and all these crimes that are committed here, we all pay for that. When insurance companies pay out money wrongfully because of fraud, it affects everybody. Our great Governor Ron DeSantis has made it clear we are a law and order state, and if you want to commit crimes, go somewhere else. Law and order, or there's the border. Don't come to Lee County especially. I'll tell you right now, we have law and order, and the great residents of Lee County will live with safety and security and law and order. We're not going to tolerate anything else. Again, couldn't be more proud, and I'm going to take some questions. So this is their property, okay? It doesn't have, there's no tow truck license or business. They just came from Philadelphia and decided to steal cars and pretend they had a business here in the state of Florida, which they did not. Okay? Then they would store it on this property, and they would charge them almost double the amount of what is regulated by Florida statute. So they were doing everything wrong. Fraud, grand theft, you name it, they did it. Well, that's a great thing to say, because now we always make bad money good. Now I'm very proud to say well, we made it clear, you walk into someone's home, think about it. Someone that just got devastated by Hurricane Ian, they lost everything. Some of them clothes, vehicles. They have nothing to go back to, or maybe a partial structure. You can't replace wedding rings and gifts, right? And people come over here and they try to loot. Well, guess what? Governor Ron DeSantis made it very, very clear. We have law and order, and the people are going to have safety and security. As the sheriff of this county, the great residents of Lee County will have that. So if you walked into someone's home, you're going to be carried out. It's very, very clear. We don't need to be victims, and we're not going to be victims. And I stand by that. So there were 40-plus people that had come across and unfortunately tried and attempted to steal or loot. Swiftly, we got involved with that. We investigated, and we incarcerated. Again, you walk into someone's home, especially after they just got hit by a hurricane, you walk in, you get carried out. That's it. Next question.
Have you had any other problems with other people, like, say, contractors? Have you been going after them as well, who have been trying to
So what we always try to do, okay, and again, with the hurricane, we have the grid is packed with people from all over. They want to help. People want to be here. But you get that select few who don't want to help. They want to prey on people. Education and awareness is key. We always try to educate, make people aware of what we expect. Contractor fraud. Our Attorney General is phenomenal. Ashley Moody, we talk regularly. Education, teaching people, first of all, the homeowner and the citizen, how not to be a victim of a crime, but also telling those, you don't come here after a hurricane or any time and try to commit a crime and fraud our residents. So any complaints that come in are immediately investigated, and if they commit a crime, they get punished to the fullest extent of the law.
These repo companies, they usually get, a notification from the bank or a situation where all of these victims, hurricane related, these weren't like they were trying to prey on.
So not all, the big break in the case, so when you say that, not everyone you see here was Hurricane Ian related. The big break in the case was a person that was a disabled motorist pulled off the roadway to come back and later fix their vehicle. The vehicle was gone because it was stolen. And these detectives jumped on it immediately. That's what broke this case. We investigated and we found out, one, there is no tow company here. Look, there's so many great tow companies here that go out of their way to do everything the right way. They're on a rotation list. They have a legitimate business. They pay insurance. They do all the above. These people came down from Philadelphia and they just decided, we're going to steal vehicles and we're going to charge them double the amount to store them, and we're not going to contact the owners. This was fraud at every level. And I'm proud that we swiftly and immediately jumped on it. This is not just, let me deliver a press conference. Again, I'm the guy that shows up and speaks. The heroes are the men and women of the Sheriff's Office that put so many working, dedicated hours into this. That's why we're here.
What are they facing, the people who did this as far as?
So we're talking about, one, fraud. We're talking about grand theft charges. We're talking about county ordinances that have been violated, operating a business without a license, without an insurance. So multiple charges, but I can get you specifically what each of them face after this.
And were they going by a certain company name?
I believe it was, well, ironically, it was Blessings Towing. So blessings, well, the real blessing is they're incarcerated. Okay, they go to the Marceno Motel. The only blessing is the residents don't deal with that, and they won't have to. Again, we're not going to tolerate that. Our residents are the most important people to us, and Lee County is filled with them. I wouldn't want to be sheriff anywhere else in the country. Our great residents support law enforcement. They want law and order. They help us do our job. The blessing is they're gone, they're incarcerated, and they're charged. And no stranger. I mean, one guy's on federal probation for armed robbery on a bank with a machine gun. The world's a better place with him behind bars.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.